The Jeep Gladiator is starting to become scarce. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Automotive JT. That's right, the Jeep Gladiator is starting to become scarce too. So what am I talking about? Well, the other day, I got a call that my plates were in for my new Tundra. If you haven't seen that yet, you're interested, I have another channel. It's Automotive FST about my 2021 Toyota Tundra. But anyway, I decided to go out, pick up my plates, so I made the journey out to the Toyota dealership, which happens to be very close to the Jeep dealership. So, of course, being me, I had to go drive through the Jeep lot just to see what they have, check inventory, all that kind of stuff, because that kind of stuff turns me on. So I go out there, pick up my plates. That went really smooth, no issue. And then I headed pretty much next door to the Jeep dealer. And man, was I surprised. The inventory there on the Gladiators is pretty much what it is on the Tacomas. While I was at the Toyota dealership, of course, I checked out the Tacomas. And they had, I think, about four or five new Tacomas sitting on the lot. So I thought, well, surely it's not going to be that way with the Jeep Gladiator. And boy, was I wrong. I pull into the Jeep Gladiator lot, or the Jeep lot. They sell more than just Gladiators there. I pull in there and wow, it's like tumbleweeds blowing around. There's hardly any vehicles at all in there. And that's including even the Ram, which last time I went through there were a ton of Rams on the lot. Not anymore, but the Jeep Gladiators were even more disturbing. There were four Jeep Gladiators sitting on the lot, and that's it. And I got to thinking, gee, I'd been through that lot a few times before, and there were always a decent number of Gladiators. I mean, it's not like, they had their normal 30 or 40 of them there, but still they had 10, 15, something like that, a pretty good selection. But not anymore. This chip shortage is putting a stranglehold on everybody. Toyota announced recently that they were cutting production by, I believe it was 40%. 40%? That's gotta hurt. And it seems to me that, Stellantis, Chrysler, Fiat, whatever they're called these days, seems to be doing the same thing. And it's not by choice. There's no vehicle manufacturer out there that wants to produce less vehicles. That's kind of counterintuitive to the business model of selling more vehicles, right? So I believe that this chip shortage, unfortunately, has finally started to impact Jeeps as well, and that you're going to be having a pretty darn hard time finding them. Now, what does that mean when it comes to pricing? Negotiation ability or opportunities. There's a lot of myths out there, maybe not myths. There's a lot of instances out there where dealerships are charging huge premiums for vehicles, including Jeeps. I've seen a few reports about some dealerships charging $5,000 to $10,000. $5,000 to $10,000 over sticker, calling it a market adjustment. What it should really be called is the dealership gouge, because let's face it, they're not paying more money to get these vehicles. They're paying the same money they always did, but they know that they've got you. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, and let's say that you have to have one for your business maybe, or you just want one, who knows, whatever the reason is, they've got you, because when you go in there, you don't have much of a choice. And depending on what part of the country you live in or what region you live in, there may not be other options. In other words, there may not be other dealerships close by that you can kind of leverage against that dealership to try to get the price back to where it should be. However, that does not mean that you have to settle for that price. You may have to take a trip, you may have to take a flight, depending on how bad the prices are where you are. You can buy a lot of plane tickets and a lot of gas for $10,000. Might be worth it. Take a family vacation, pick up a Gladiator while you're out there. Drive it back. It'll be fun. you also need to stick to your guns. You know, I've seen a couple of instances where people have reported that they went to the dealership and had that gigantic premium market adjustment added to the price, and they refused. They left, and a couple of them had gotten calls back from the dealership getting rid of that market adjustment, cutting it out. Now, does that mean that they were able to get some huge reduction in price? No, because even with the removal of that, if you can get a dealership to do it, you're still not going to get some phenomenal deal off of the MSRP. You can get a little bit, probably $500, $1,000, and why not? I mean, any amount that you can get off the sticker is money in your pocket, right? Particularly if you're financing, because if you finance that $500 or $1,000, whatever it is, it's going to be more money that you're going to spend because of interest. So stick to your guns if you're out there looking. You know, even in the instance where I recently drove through the dealership and there were only 4 or 5 there still are 4 or 5 sitting there. They're on the dealership lot, they're not sold, and of course the dealership wants to move those units. That's why they're there, because anything that they can sell, particularly right now, is a benefit to them. And you got to think about it the other way around. You know, if dealerships can't get cars, that means that it's more important that they sell the ones that they can get as quickly as they can, because they don't have that volume out there that they can move in the past. So there is a motivation for the dealer to move even a small number of cars that they may have on the lot as compared to the huge volume that they had before. So what about the used market? You know, I did notice at that dealership they did have, it seemed to me, more used vehicles, which would make sense, than new sitting there. And while the pricing on used vehicles is up, that's for sure, you can still get pretty good deals on used vehicles as well. Because I have found that while this has been going on, and since the price of used vehicles has climbed, there seems to be more of them out there with less miles. In other words, people are seemingly more willing to trade their used vehicles off, even though they may not have had them that long, and put tons of miles on them because they can get more money for them. So that means that you have more options out there when it comes to lower mileage vehicles, sometimes less than 10,000 miles. You may pay a little bit more, but you're still going to pay less in most cases than you would for a brand new vehicle. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a bit. It just seems that the Jeep Gladiator is becoming scarce, just like all the other trucks out there. Leave a comment, let me know. In your area, what are you finding? Is there good inventory? Is there a lot of selection out there on the Gladiator? Or are you finding they're becoming scarce as well? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive FST, all about my newest edition, the 2021 Toyota Tundra. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.